Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and welcome everyone to this review of Speak No Evil, the new psychological horror film written and directed by James Watson, starring James McAvoy, Mackenzie Davis, and Scoot McNairy. This is a remake of the Danish film of the same name, and the plot of Speak No Evil. It follows an American family who are invited to stay in a remote farmhouse of a British couple for the weekend. The hosts soon began to test the limits of their guests as the situation escalates. This film caught my attention. I saw the trailer for it, and it looked familiar, because I was like, man, this looks like a movie I've seen. But I didn't see the Danish film. I think I saw the trailer or something for it a couple of years ago, and I never got around to watching it. And now we get this remake, which was so confusing to me. It was so confusing. I'm like, man, they just made this film, But it's all fine and good, and I still haven't seen the Danish film because I wanted to see this one first. I wanted to see this remake first because I didn't want to sit there and watch it and dissect it like, oh no, this is different. Oh, they changed this or they did this differently. Whenever they do remakes and reimaginings or reboots, you're always going to compare it to the original. And I didn't want to do it for this. I wanted to go into it blind, go into it green, if you will, and enjoy it for what it is. That was reason one. Reason two is James McAvoy. James McAvoy, in my humble opinion, is the most underrated actor in the business. James McAvoy is an incredible performer. Incredible. This man has range out of this world. May I direct your attention to Split? Just go see Split and judge his range and his countless other films. The X-Men films when he played Charles Xavier, The Last King of Scotland, which was amazing, Atonement, Wanted. I randomly watched Wanted maybe about a month or so ago. It was on television, and I stopped because I haven't seen it in a while, and I thoroughly enjoyed it for some strange reason. I enjoyed it more than I remembered enjoying it back in 2008 when it came out. But this guy has range just unbelievably off the moon. Most recently, It Chapter 2. Even though It Chapter 2 wasn't as good as Chapter 1, I loved him in it. And that's the thing with James McAvoy. Even in films that aren't great, aren't good, he's good in them. It is rare that you hear anybody say that James McAvoy mailed it in on this role or he didn't try on this. Was it Glass? The follow-up to Split? I think it was Glass. That movie was trash in my opinion, and I only seen it once. I always told myself I wanted to go back and watch it again and maybe have a deeper appreciation for it, but I just cannot bring myself to do it. But I do know this for a fact. He was good in it. Even though I didn't enjoy the movie, I enjoyed him in it. Those X-Men films, Days of Future Past is amazing. Not so much with Apocalypse, not so much with what was the other one after the Dark Phoenix, but he was good. And that's what makes James McAvoy special. He never melds it in. And here in this film, in Speak No Evil, this was a tour de force, I believe. This dude was so chilling in this film. He was, to say that this is a psychological horror, and that's what it is, but it's not a slasher. It's not a serial killer type thing, where Michael Myers is chasing you through the house and you hiding in closets and under the beds and he's coming to get you. It was none of that. It was more psychological. It was more cerebral. This was him playing with this American couple's head throughout the film, and it was a beautiful thing to watch. You know, this character, he's so unhinged, but likable at the same time. I've never seen a character like this before. I've never seen it played like this before. You know, a character who is completely unstable throughout this entire film, but for some reason you can't help but like him, but be just frightened to death by him all at the same time. And it was showed beautifully in this film. I think it was directed pretty good by James Watson, who previously directed Eden Lake, and The Woman in Black. I never saw The Woman in Black, but I did see Eden Lake. That was pretty good. But this was the way the couple, the American couple, are displayed here, where one is, it's kind of like the yin and the yang. You know, one sees the psychotic side, and the other one sees the, you know, the good guy. You know, it's funny how they play off of each other and how they both are right. You know, it's not like they're both wrong; they're right, and that's part of the conflict of the film. You know how they have this passive aggressive attitude. You know, and I saw myself in these characters. You know, because I got that. You know, that passive aggressive thing. It is so frustrating because, you know, when you're a humble person, and it's weird to say that because if you're humble, you don't say you're humble. But when you're a humble person and something happens around you that's disturbing or makes you angry or gets you mad, you really don't say nothing until you leave. And then, and then all this stuff comes to your head. It is a mental disorder that is, I don't know if there's any type of medication for it, but I think I need it because I can't stand it. But yeah, I saw it in these characters. Uh, one of the other highlights in this film was from the young boy who plays James McAvoy and his wife's quote unquote son in the film, Ant, who was played by Dan Hinge. He did an excellent job, and he's mute, but not really mute. But I'll you know, well, if you've seen the trailer, you know. But it's I don't want to spoil it, but it's he played a really good character. I enjoy. I like to see young actors when you have young children who understand the craft. It's amazing to me, and I really like watching that. The other performers here, they did fine. Mackenzie Davis, who I do like. I like her in so much. Like I said, this is a nice cast. They were so naive to what was going on, and some of the decisions made by her character and her husband's character, played by Scoot McNairy, in this film were so frustrating. And this isn't the passive aggressive part. It was just the fact that, like, why are you still here? Why are you still in this house with this dude? You know, because he is doing some just outlandish, unhinged stuff. You know, disturbing, beyond disturbing stuff, and you're still there. You haven't blasted the teeth out of the back of his head, you know, because this dude has done some really foul stuff or saying some very foul stuff. And for some strange reason, you're still sticking around. It's crazy. But like I said, the screenplay and the direction and the performances kind of make up for the holes in this plot. You know, whereas you can kind of understand why they didn't leave, why they stuck around as long as they did in that house. And so you kind of roll with it, you know, you suspend disbelief and just rock with it. But it was frustrating at times watching it. It really was. It was upsetting. My negatives to this film, it's a slow burn. It's a slow burn. If you're expecting just a horror film with you know, gore and killing throughout and just this dude going crazy for an hour and a half. You're not going to get that. Now, he is going crazy, but not in the sense of just wow man crazy. It was, like I said, this is more of a cerebral attack. And that's where it's enjoyable. But it takes so long to get to the meat of it, you know. And when we get to the end of it, it's kind of meh, you know. It's not exciting, you know. It left you wanting more. It really left you wanting more. Other than one satisfying death at the end, it was a very satisfying death, if I could say that without spoiling, even though I think I did by saying that. But it is, but even with that, you don't know you don't know unless you watch the movie. And so I will say that, but it is satisfying. But aside from that, yeah, it was very slow. And if not for James McAvoy's just incredible performance to keep you anchored down, you would probably switch it off. You probably walk out of the theater. But his performance is enough to keep you hooked in your seat. See No Evil, the remake, which came out in this year, 2024, gets a letter grade of a C plus. Yeah, it was decent. It was a decent film. You know, it's nothing to break down the doors of your local theater to go see, but if there's nothing else playing and you want to check something out that you haven't checked out before, I'll recommend going and check it out, or wait for it to come on streaming or whatever. But it is a good movie. Now that I've seen this, I will go back and watch the Danish film and compare the two. I just didn't want it to affect my viewing of this film. But I would like to know, have you checked out Speak No Evil? Have you seen the original film, or do you plan to check out this film from the great James McAvoy? Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for this show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, the KB Radio Network channel, that is, and like this video if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this review of See No Evil. Want you all to know that I love you. Continue to love everyone, and until we speak again, you all be blessed.